All right, I'm here in the studio. You guys have seen it plenty of times. Everything in here, I put together myself. I kind of pieced it together. So I've got this hitting mat here, which I've really liked. I've got some extra turf down here just to kind of blend it all together. I've got a separate little putting mat over here. It all gets the job done, but it's a little disjointed. It's not quite even. And even though I do really like this hitting surface, it's got some pretty big shortcomings. Number one being this giant lip right here that if you're not paying attention to, you can kind of trip into, you can kind of fall off it. And maybe the most annoying part of it is if you go to hit a shot, after you hit the ball, well then you got to get the ball back up on the surface. It's just kind of awkward, it's kind of cumbersome. So today in this video, I'm going to be laying down brand new hitting and putting surface for the studio, making everything look really nice, really professional with the help from the guys at SIMTURF. I'm going to show you the whole process. We're going to go through everything here, start to finish. Hopefully you guys can decide then, is this something you might want to take on? So let's get started. Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. Hope you're having a wonderful day. So let's go ahead and get started with putting down a brand new hitting and putting surface here in the studio. I've got a bunch of different boxes. I've got a bunch of different rolls of turf sort of scattered throughout the studio, and we're going to be bringing them all together starting right now. So first thing we got to do, we got to break down, we got to remove all of the existing hitting area, putting area. We're going to be keeping the carpet where it is. This flooring is fine. We're just going to build everything up off of that, but we do need to get rid of all that stuff. Okay, we got everything cleaned up. By the way, I've got my son Sam here helping me today, so this is most likely a two-person job unless you've got a pretty small space. For the space that I've got here, it's big enough that definitely need a second set of hands to help move everything around. So at this point, we're going to start the actual installation process. Just quick, what I've been doing up to this point, I've been going back and forth with the guys at SIMTURF. We went through a couple different design ideas and finally came out with a layout that made sense for the space. This is definitely a unique space and what I wanted, so that's one of the great things about SIMTURF is you can get it exactly the way you want it, and they will pre-cut everything, which should make all the installation pretty simple overall. So we'll see what happens there, but I'm pretty confident that having everything already pre-measured, pre-cut will make it pretty simple to get everything in place. In these boxes, we've got a bunch of foam tiles. And this is going to be what we put underneath all the surfaces to start off with. So underneath everywhere that's going to have green covering on it, we're going to have some of these underneath it to start off with. So first thing we're going to do is start laying these out, starting in the back corner and working our way out till we get to the finished full size of the enclosure. Just kind of a big puzzle that you're putting together here. All the pieces have these flat edges that you can just pop out. So if it's on a wall or on an edge, you can have that nice smooth edge, but for here, these middle kind of pieces, we're just going to pop all that out and then just connect them together just like that. And we'll just keep working our way around. The hardest part of all this is going to be getting these tiles underneath the enclosure, so we're going to work on that next and then move out from there. All right, I'd say we're probably about halfway done laying the tiles down. Honestly, the hardest part of the whole thing was dealing with the whole superstructure of the impact screen. Once we got around that and got those tiles under that, the rest of this goes pretty quick, pretty easy. All right, we're back. Day number 2. Wanted to make sure that all the tiles were laying nice and flat, which they are. However, we did realize once we got back that everything was slightly askew. It wasn't quite lined up correctly with the room. Sam had a really good idea, which was, why don't we just move the entire enclosure off of the surface? I don't know why we didn't do that before. I think I was worried it would be harder to do that, but having now laid the tiles, I think it's going to definitely be easier to just move the entire hitting bay out of the way, get everything laid out the way it needs to be, and then we can move it back at the end. All right, we're just adjusting everything, moving all the tiles where they need to be. Little trick we discovered is if we add a little air underneath it like this, it's real easy to get it to slide exactly where we want it to go. So it made it infinitely easier than just trying to drag it. You put a little air under it and it just kind of floats. It's really quite amazing. So right now we've got the turf. We're starting to lay it down. We're going to start in this corner and work our way out because this is going to be the one area where the turf is connected to the 2 walls. It'll be more open on this side. So laying out the fringe right here, which is this thicker turf here, which is going to separate our putting green from our hitting area. And then we're going to go get the putting green and start laying that out next. Putting down double-sided tape in between the putting turf and the fringe. Just kind of sticking it intermittently as I move. There's probably a way that you could do this just with one big strip of tape, but I haven't figured that out yet, so I'm just using little ones. Out easily and do the next one. Okay, last thing to do, we've got to figure out where the actual hitting mat portion is going to be, and then we're going to cut down into this flooring. We're going to cut down through the putting turf, through the foam tiles, so that when we install this, everything will be nice and even and flush, and we won't have to pick the balls up off the lip, and everything will look clean and beautiful. All right, all finished. What do you think? Definitely, this is a 2-person job. I'll just say it. At least for a space this big, you need at least 2 people because there's a lot of shifting things around and moving things. If you don't have a big enclosure like this, as we showed, it's a lot easier to go through the process, way easier to do all that and then move it back the way we ended up doing it. So that was just sort of live and learn. Everything nice, smooth. We've got the putting area over here with some cups laid out for us, and then one just cohesive, smooth, flat surface, and this giant 4 by 10 foot hitting mat. Feels really good. I like the give to it. It's got a good amount of give to it. You don't need that foam underneath it. Remember, we took that foam out because we wanted everything to sit nice and flush, and this turf is very thick. It's very substantial, so it acts very, real, very authentic. So if you hit it fat, you're going to know it. If you hit it thin, if you hit it flush, it's going to give you all that feedback. So really like all that, really like having this big area that I can move around and hit off of as well. So there you go. This is definitely a project that you can do yourself. Again, you get in contact with SIMTURF, sort of go through the whole process, give them the measurements. They will cut everything exactly to the right size, and then you just have to go and put it all together. And hopefully, at the end of it, you get something that looks very clean, very professional, just like this. There you go. So I want to first off give a big thank you to Sam. Come on up here. My son, Sam, who helped through this entire process. Day 2 definitely took a while as we were moving things around, trying to get all the tape down and get everything done. But a big thank you to Sam. Want to thank you for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed this. If you did, make sure you go down below.
If you liked this video, please like and subscribe to the channel.
There you go. We'll see you next time. Bye.